Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and put together our seasonings and the water and oil for the broth. Now, this is mostly just for making a different flavor on the turkey. Commonly, what a lot of people will do, they'll add a little bit of oil, maybe some butter, some water, pitch it in the oven, wish it luck. What we're going to do is a recipe that I found that had changed a little bit online. And the recipe is originally for a 12-pound turkey. We have closer to a 24-pound turkey, so we have to double up the recipe. The recipe for the 12-pound turkey is 3/4 cup of olive oil is what it calls for. We use corn oil because that's what we have. It originally calls for 2 tablespoons of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of parsley, 1 teaspoon of oregano, half a teaspoon of black pepper, and 2 cups of water. That's the original calling. Well, since we had to double up, what we have here is 1.5 cups of oil, 4 cups of water. We have 4 tablespoons of garlic powder. We also have the 2 teaspoons of parsley, 2 teaspoons of oregano, and 1 teaspoon of black pepper. So now we have pointed all of these out and set them aside. This was pre-measured early to avoid mistakes and going over in time. Since this is also a larger calling for these ingredients, we used the larger measuring cup. Reach on over here, get our cutting board that we have, full of our powders and blends, and we'll gently scrape that in here with the whisk that we're going to use. This particular whisk, I like this whisk because it's a more flexible whisk. I've never been real big on the balloon whisks. They work well enough, but I like this one a little bit better. Put our cutting board to the side. We have no further use for it. And now we're going to go ahead and blend this all together. This whisk is flexible, which is what I like about this. If I have one of the more oblong, rounded mixing bowls, just put a little bit more forearm into it and continue to whip. I don't want to whip too hard in this because we have a pretty full mixture. Notice it's turning kind of a blackish, brownish, unfavorable looking color. It'll look much more favorable once it's in the turkey and basted on the turkey. We will be rebasting the turkey about every, say, half hour. Towards the last 20-30 minutes of the baking time, we will be removing the foil from the top of the turkey and basting it incredibly often to keep it as moist as possible. The purpose for this will be to can the turkey a little bit and allow the seasonings from this blend to adhere to the skin. What we found with this blend is it works incredibly well. The flavor from this just soaks through the entire bird and it doesn't really lose its flavor much at all. After a while of it being frozen, it did start to lose its flavor. It barely made it to the end of the month. But we were very much looking forward to doing this one more time because you can only eat ham sandwiches for just so long before you are sick and tired of them. I feel we probably blended this well enough. It looks like it might be blended well enough at the bottom. Push this around a little bit. Now we're going to go ahead and take all of this over here next to the turkey where we have the beans still boiling at a medium heat. And we're going to carefully pour this in because this turkey is very overwhelming to this broiler here. We're going to pour this into the tail end because that's where we have the most space. While we weren't recording, we were discussing a little bit whether or not this would actually work because this bird takes up a lot of space and this is a large amount of fluid to add to it. A worry that is actually on my mind right now that I did state before adding all of this is the question of volume while cooking. A lot of times you have to add moisture to things. Some critters just make their own. The last turkey we made, that turkey didn't make its own. This is a different brand of turkey. So, this could be entertainment. What we will do once again, like we did with the ham, is we will be putting the baking sheet underneath of the turkey just in case we have run over, because there's oil in this and it's flammable. So, come back a little bit later and we'll address our turkey again.